Welcome back to Digital Trends live coverage of CES 2019. It's day 3 here from our DT booth at the LVCC, bringing you all the latest news in technology. And let me tell you, there's been a ton. There's been a lot of news.
It's day 3. We are still alive. Thank you for joining us back here again. We have another 8 hours of amazing goodness to show you. The best thing about today, though, is that now that the Digital Trends team has seen the floor, we've sent out many different people to check out absolutely everything on offer. And then the Top Tech Awards have happened.
Absolutely.
We've got some pretty cool winners that we get to discuss right here on day 3.
It's pretty amazing. So all these awards just came out. The editors of Digital Trends spent hours and hours and hours going over deciding what their picks would be for the top tech of CES and the overall winner. And we're going to be talking about that here in just a couple of minutes. But let's introduce ourselves. I'm Greg Nibler, here with Maud Garrett.
Hi there. And we've actually got another guest that's going to talk to us through day 3 of CES as well. Kevin Harrington. You may recognize him from Shark Tank. This is the man who knows how to do business. So CES must be like either your Christmas or your gold mine. What is that like?
Oh, boy. I think it's both, by the way. I love it. It's such a great show. I've been going to trade shows for about 35 years. And so 31 out of 32 houseware shows in Chicago. This is like 15 out of probably 20 of the CES events. I just love coming out here. So much innovation and just creativity, just walking around. It's amazing. Love it.
It's kind of fun, just like the innovation side that you're talking about, because you never know, are you looking at the next Google? Or are you looking at somebody who's going to eventually create the new Samsung? You never know.
Yeah.
Like what some of these products are going to turn out to be.
Yeah. And so we look for businesses that have proof of concept, and that's there's some people here with kind of napkin ideas, and then there's others that have raised $100 million and they're ready to to launch it. So
right.
I have to do the analyzing of what's the best time to get involved.
It must be quite there's a lot of pressure as well, because you're such a catalyst to make things happen. You can turn a red light into a green light quite successfully.
Yeah.
So people are sort of beelining to use you as the reason that their business can be taken to the next level. That's a lot. There's like so many companies here, and there's just one of you.
Yeah. On Shark Tank, they get 3 minutes to pitch, and I get 3 minutes to make up my idea in my mind whether I want to invest in their business. And it's like, I think I need a little more time.
Yeah.
Right.
And so here we get a chance. There's so much innovation here, though. So we want to make sure that if we're getting involved in something, it's going to be here the next year, right? And years to come.
Yeah, stability, definitely something that's important. Well, we're going to talk about our top tech winner. I do want to remind everybody that we are broadcasting live, and I'm seeing the comments come through on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, all of the different platforms that we're on. Hello to India, who's tuning in. Somebody asked, where's Caleb? Caleb will be on here shortly, I can assure you. Caleb's not gone away. He will be in here. DT rocks. Thank you, Mark. So all those coming in. So let us know your comments and questions as we go through. And I think we should talk about it. So last night, or actually I believe it's this morning, last night, time doesn't matter at CES. It's all a blur. Our article came out announcing Digital Trends top tech of CES. And I think just to start off, why don't we talk about our overall award winner, which I'll be honest, I was a little surprised about it too.
For a tech show where you see a lot of gadgets, devices, future technology, this one's actually in food tech. The winner, the best of, I believe, in all of the top tech out there was for a company called The Impossible Burger that has figured out how to make a meatless patty that tastes exactly like meat. Now, this is the 2.0 version of their formula, and apparently the first one was phenomenal, and the second one has actually amplified it to a whole new level, which is what I believe CES is all about. It's like, this is what it was, but now it's the next level.
Right.
This one apparently is just going to revolutionize the whole of the food industry.
Well, and it's an interesting thing, to think of food as tech, but it's just further proof, the innovation and influence of tech goes across all different categories now. I mean, I don't think there's any category of anything you can think of that doesn't have some kind of a modern tech influence in some way.
So have you heard about the Impossible Burger? What's your weigh in on this one?
I haven't heard about it. It's great to hear about it. I'm glad it's number one. What I love, I mentioned I go to the houseware show, and because everybody has a kitchen, this is mass market kind of products. And when you look at Home Shopping Network, QVC, the houseware side of the business, pots and pans, celebrity chefs, it's a big part of their business. So that's the business I'm in, mass market kind of product. So this is tech meets the kitchen and food and eating and the things that QVC does 1.5 billion a year in food products, right?
Yeah.
So it's a big category.
And they're actually just, I believe the first time this year, there was a whole food tech event just dedicated to that. We sent, actually, I think David Kogan, Pavi Dinamani from Digital Trends actually went out there and filmed some videos from there too, just because there's so much innovation in that category, whether it's, you know, Instapot or something like that, you know, with just the technology side of it and how much it takes to make that. So the Impossible Burger people, they did some pretty impressive things. Just from a chemical standpoint, I couldn't begin to actually explain it to you. We've got an article if you can dig into and actually fully understand it. I'm glad somebody caught my dig into back there in the back. But you can take a look, the Impossible Burger 2.0. So the overall winner of Top Tech of CES for Digital Trends for our awards. So congratulations to them.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a huge environmental impact from that as well. So that's what I'm actually looking forward to. Yeah,
that's something that that's a good point to bring up, because I feel like a lot of the tech that we've seen, that we've had for interviews that have come through here, have been part of that too, like making the world a better place.
While also injecting so many more sort of like battery operated and you know, electronic devices in our lives. So we need a little bit more balance happening, I think. Yeah.
Maybe next year it'll be the steak. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll come up with a steak. I did try the Impossible Burger 2.0. It is good, and I'm a meat eater, and it was damn good. So I would like another one. That's
every vegan is just like flexing, being like, "Told ya." Fair enough.
So congratulations to them. And we're going to run down the rest of, well, we don't have time to run down the rest of all of the winners, but coming up on today's show, we're going to be going live to another winner, one of the winners of Top Tech. And there's I think about 16, 17 different winners. So we'll be going live to one of their booths. We'll be talking to a couple that are coming through here, and we'll run down all of them here throughout the show. I think maybe, though, it's time we do our Read 'em and Weep segment.
Alrighty, now feel free to weigh in, Kevin, as well. These are a lot of fun. We get people commenting on all the video and the content we're putting out there on all different platforms. The first one we've got is on YouTube. It's Chis Ayala.
See, that's always the hard part, is how do you pronounce the name?
Chis.
Chis.
It looks like Chris.
Chis.
But it's not.
Chris minus the R. Chis.
Wanted to talk about the Google Assistant updates at CES 2019 and said, when are you guys going to learn to stop saying, "Hey Google," on your reviews? It obviously activates your listeners' devices too.
See, that's the problem, though. I mean, how else do you do it? It's just like we were talking about yesterday. Anybody named Alexa, sorry, I just said it off. You know, that's, I don't know how else to describe it other than saying Alexa is the A word, which also sounds wrong.
Yeah.
You know, in some way.
Actually, that's a good conversation to have, because obviously everyone has assistants at the moment. Like you've either got an Alexa or you've got a Google Assistant. Which one do you prefer? Which one have you kind of dabbled into?
I use Alexa.
You do?
Yeah. Ties in well.
Yeah, I've been actually trying both. I mean, there's one thing that you can't deny here for CES this year, and it's what a presence Google has. I mean, even walking in here, I tried to get a picture of the giant banner ad across this building, but I think you have to be like a mile away to get the whole thing into a shot. It's because Google is just advertising everywhere, really trying to make a push for their assistant. And yeah, Chis, I know, I understand, I'm sorry. I advocated that they should call it Gary instead of Hey Google, Hey Gary, but that is not taken off yet, and I keep on trying, so we'll just move on from there. All right, let's go on to our next comment. We've got from Facebook, David Holm. Regarding this Furrion iceless cooler, looks like a Mars rover, keeps beers cold for a week.
A week.
That is a good use of technology. Although David just counters, who the hell keeps beers for a week? Get real.
So. Me. You always have the reserve, because it doesn't matter how much you need one on that bad day. There's always going to be another one, so you just need that one in the fridge to be like, man, that was a really hard work day.
And there it is.
There it is.
A week later.
That's
the sound it should make when you open it, too.
Yes.
I love problem solvers. It sounds like it solves a big problem for you, okay?
Problem solver. I don't focus on the problem. I only want to hear solutions. Oh, there you go. Maybe I could be on Shark Tank. Maybe not. I'm getting ahead of myself.
So Furrion, that review is actually pretty great. I kind of want one of these things. You can check that out at digitaltrends.com. David, I understand, but you need to just buy more beer. That's really what the problem is for you.
Moving over back to YouTube, we've got one from Brian talking about the Anchor Rove Bolt hands-on at CES 2019. 90%, I think this is what Brian sounds like. 90% of the CES coverage is garbage. Today we have this thing from this company. We can't show it. It's loud here and the internet sucks. Thanks. Video ends. Don't make a video if your content is garbage.
Wow. That was a good, I like that Brian. I like that Brian impression. I can picture that too.
You know, it's so easy to do that when you're commenting from bed.
It is. It does go in there. Well, I mean, Brian, it's The problem is, part of that's true. It is loud at CES. There's 180,000 people that are here, so sometimes that just happens. You know, you just kind of got to roll with it. And
but I have noticed, he actually, you know, Brian, you're not wrong. And I don't know if you experience this a lot as well. There's so much embargo. They want to be the first to announce something huge, but they just don't have enough out yet, or the prototype hasn't been built. And so it's like, we've got this great thing, can't show you, can't actually answer that question. Oh, that's a great question too, something that I can't answer just yet. And you're just like, well, why are we talking about something that we actually can't talk about? Do you face that as well?
Yeah, you know, like I said earlier, one of the things that I look for before I make a huge investment is proof of concept, right? Because prototypes, you know, getting the actual full samples, working prototypes, I want to see something generally a little further along, because it's tough to invest in an idea or a napkin kind of a thing, you know? So I'm more the guy that wants to do a little bit of digital testing, and then I sort of test before I invest is sort of my business model.
Interesting. We need to dig into that a little bit, I think, here.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing a little bit of research here, and you've got over 500 investments going at the moment. 500.
How do you keep track of 500 investments?
Well, that's over the last number of years. So some of them have, you know, peaked and valleyed, and you know, it's know when to hold them, know when to fold them. Okay. So and one of the challenges that I run into is when I invest in private companies, what's the exit strategy, right? So you can put the money in today. A year later, they're likely to need more money, right? Yeah. And so, okay, well, do I want to put more money in, or do we want to help raise the money? But where is the end? You're like, when do I get the return on my investment, right? So that's why I like to see it a little further along.
That's an interesting
Finish
point
line
to look
in
at.
sight.
Yeah.
Right?
Instead of dark tunnels. Okay.
And that's how you invest in 500 businesses. That makes sense.
Thank you.
You got to have that knowledge.
If it's a public company, that's even better, because now the investment, you get stock, it's a tradable security.
Are you writing this down?
Yes, I'm going to go back and watch this video afterward.
Okay, good. We're moving over to Twitter now. Matthew, at Crazy Sheep with 2 Ps, is responding to the Digital Trends Hate Your Luggage suitcase. Here's one that follows you in CES 2019. It says, what happens when you get to the stairs? Accident, ... lols. Have you seen this suitcase?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
So there's this travel luggage, which is a firm, hard case luggage where instead of you having to drag it along, I think you press a button and it will actually follow you.
Oh, okay, great.
So this luggage follows you along. So
that's
someone
pretty
that travels
good.
A lot.
I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I travel 2 weeks a month, and if I had, you know, sometimes, you know, I end up getting a little, I got to see my chiropractor by the time I get done traveling, right? Because I'm lugging my stuff all over the place, right? But that sounds like a pretty cool problem solver. I like that.
But it's a great problem. And this is what my dad was saying about Doctor Who with the Daleks. It's like they're so great until you reach a set of stairs. And it's like,
That's true. Exterminate. Yeah, I mean, they're not going to make it happen. Yeah.
What do you do? Unless there's like, it goes R2-D2 in the prequels and it starts getting a jet propeller.
That's the
out
next.
of nowhere, it just starts flying.
The only thing I think of, what do you have to service your luggage at some point, right? If it's not working, right? So I'm thinking down the line, right?
I like this.
My luggage is in the shop again.
Kevin's amazing for this is the idea now, and he's like, yeah, I can tell you every problem you're going to face in 2 years. That's awesome.
Shooting it down. All right, let's go to YouTube. We got Juan Loiza regarding Alienware 55-inch OLED monitor hands-on at CES 2019. I love how people who don't own any OLED products like to think they know things. I have 2 OLED TVs and an Alienware R3 OLED laptop. No burn-in on any of my screens.
That's a humble brag, or is that a just dead set brag?
I think that's a straight up brag, is what that was. But I know what Juan is referencing, and that is a frequent thing. The more we've talked about OLED, and this is talking to Caleb Dennison, to our senior editor, I've had to watch him shoot this down many times. People complain about OLED having burn-in, and that can happen. You know, burn-in if you leave it on the same screen for too long.
Like 3 months straight kind of deal.
Exactly. You have to leave it on something for a long time, but yet people always seem to think that's like the one thing that they go to. I don't know whether it's like a tick when it comes to OLED, but that's what people talk about.
It's that thing where it's like there's one fault. And so you just hone in on it because it's like a near perfect product or something that's so great.
Yeah.
You can't be happy for it. It's like, there's this one thing
Nope, there's something wrong with it.
Just like the comment section in YouTube. And why have one OLED when you can have 2?
There it is, bragging about it. Well, our final YouTube comment, though, I think you may agree with. It's Null098 regarding Digital Trends Live CES 2019 Day 2. Mod truly is the best.
That's me.
Oh, nice. Hey, how about that? Okay.
So there we go. Taking a look at our comments, our Read 'em and Weep section that we cover here at Digital Transfer DT Live every day. Let's talk a little bit more about you, Kevin. So let's kind of walk through a little bit of your background here and how you got your start in business.
Yep. So I came from, fortunately, an entrepreneurial family. My father owned restaurants, and I started when I was 11 years old working in his restaurants, but had a couple little businesses when I was in high school and college. But I'll never forget, I ordered cable TV back in the early 80s. So I'm dating myself a little bit here, but I got the 30-channel package, and I went through, I got CNN, 24 hours of news, and ESPN, 24 hours of sports, but I got to channel 30, and it was the Discovery Channel. There was nothing programmed there. It was blank. There was bars on the screen. So I called the cable company and I said, I'm not getting Discovery Channel. They said, oh, you tuned in when it's off air. It's only an 18-hour-a-day network. We only have enough programming for 18 hours a day. So I said, well, what are you doing with the other 6 hours? They said, nothing. So I said, well, let me give you some programming to put in there. TV shows that sell products. And that was the beginning, really, of the infomercial business. Wow. So I took that 6-hour block on Discovery, I tested and found we were getting massive amounts of sales of these products. Tony Little Fitness, Jack LaLanne and the Juicer, George Foreman, things like this, right? Billy Mays, if you remember him, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And so we started programming, Discovery, and then it was Lifetime, then Spike TV, and which was called Nashville Network at the time. And we found that we could find products, put them on these dead airtime slots. It's sort of like unsold time kind of thing, remnant time. And that became a public company on the New York Stock Exchange, doing about $500 million a year in sales.
Oh, my goodness.
So, wow. And we did open in Australia, so we sell, it's English down there, so they understand our language pretty well. But we dubbed all of our shows, so we had hundreds of shows, and we dubbed them in Spanish and Dutch and German and Italian and French and Arabic, and so we licensed them all around the world. So we have these partnerships in Europe, Latin America, Asia, Middle East, et cetera, where we find products here, we produce content around it, programming, selling programming, kind of like shopping channel or infomercials, and then we license it around the world and take these projects, hopefully, to the finish line in terms of success.
So fast forward 2019, we are here at CES. What is it that you're working on specifically here? Tell us about the booth.
Got a couple different ventures, but one of our ventures is called PowerSphere, and everybody is all about keeping their charge on their phones. I mean, how often do you look down and I'm at 17% battery life left, right?
At 11 a.m. Yes.
Exactly, right. So I'm carrying stuff, but so PowerSphere has a new charging system that we're licensing it to automotive manufacturers, and so you get in your car, the console will be a charging station, and you just lay your phones there, and it'll charge several phones at once, and this is one of the first steps of PowerSphere.
So straight away, Uber, Lyft, all of those ride shares.
Exactly.
A must-have thing, because even last night, I was like, do you have a charge?
And we also have this is kind of a cool little gadgety kind of a product. It's called Everlet, and you ever plug a charger in, you come back a little later, you used it, and then, well, where'd that charger go? Right? I have kids, I have 2 kids and my wife, people over. Chargers are always missing. So Everlet it replaces your outlet, but the charger goes inside this encapsulated outlet, new cover, and now you can't pull it out, and it's there forever to give you a charge every time. So I hope I described it the right way for you.
No, you
Evercharge.
Yeah, Everlet, Evercharge, right? So there will always be a charger, and it's got 2 or 3, so it's Android, Apple, etc. And it will always be there. Nobody can steal it because it's kind of locked into the wall.
That's always a problem that I
have.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that at
solving
gyms
problems
and things like that, they're like, here, we're providing the cords, please don't steal them.
Right. And then they're stolen.
And they're gone, right?
Yeah.
Well, where can people find out more information about all of this?
So the best place, my website is kevinharrington.tv.
Nice.
And they can, through there, you can prompt you through the different things that we're involved with. And we're looking for that next home run product, and I think we've had about 14 really good meetings here. So,
wow.
Really?
I think we're going to come out of here with some good deals.
So we're adding more to the 500.
Goodness gracious.
It's a costly show for me. 'Cause I got to invest more.
I like that. I like that too. Well, I mean, that's a good thing. Everyone wins at the end of the day with that kind of attitude. Stick around, though. We've got a huge day happening. At 10 a.m., we'll be chatting with the CEO and founder of Ring, which is home security. We're chatting with Jamie Siminoff there.
Yes.
And then at 11 a.m., Michael Wolf, the publisher of The Spoon, A Smarter Kitchen. So I have a feeling we're going to be doing a lot of smart home, a lot of home tech happening today, which I actually really love. Let's be honest here.
No, there's some really great things in that category. And talking about more about our top tech, just in general.
Oh yeah,
top
we're
tech
going
of
to be going
CES. We've got some of our winners that are going to be coming by here, and we're going to be going live with Harley Davidson. Not a company you would normally think of for CES necessarily, but they were the winners of one of our top tech awards with their new electric bike. It's called the Livewire, which the name's perfect. So the Livewire bike, and actually I believe Jeremy Kaplan, our editor-in-chief, is going to be talking to...
Pulling up on one?
Yeah. I would love to see Jeremy pull up on a Harley Davidson right here onto the set. We'll see if we can get that to happen. If not, then maybe he'll just keep it over
Just
there.
talk about it.
Let me focus more to the younger consumer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, with the all electric bike.
Yeah,
Your
beautiful.
business mind.
Yes.
Yeah, I know already. Like, who can we sell it to?
So I kind of want to address a myth. A lot of the time, when like the more successful a person is, the less sleep that they have. Is that true?
I'm getting about 3 hours a night here, so yeah, I'm dragging by the third day here. So,
I am no longer allowed to complain. Wow.
See, but it's a sign of success.
That is.
See? There you go. All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in and watching Digital Trends Live. And Kevin, I want to say thank you so much for stopping by here too. Just
hey
to talk
guys,
to us for
great
a
to
minute.
be here, and thank you.
Follow everything that Kevin is doing, kevinharrington.tv, and stay tuned right here with Digital Trends Live. We have so much more today. Our third day of broadcasting. We are not stopping. We've got lots of interviews, lots of stuff to talk about. We have our videos coming up too from David Kogan and Pavi Dinamani, who have been filming all week, going around to a lot of the smaller booths and some really interesting, fascinating stuff that they'll have. I do want to remind you that you can comment. So comment. Let us know what those are. We will be reading them. Red Jello, I see you're back in there. So thanks for joining us. And everybody else who's hopping in here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, all of them. Stay tuned right here for more Digital Trends Live covering CES 2019.